Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast?
We're two busy moms and boss ladies. If we can do it, you can too. When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had a lot of questions. How do we record an episode? How do we get our show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do we make money from a podcast?
The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what we're doing right now by reading this ad. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join us in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor.
That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast. You're listening to Boss Ladies and Babies.
Business Blab with Megan. It's time to take off our mom hats and let our entrepreneurial side show. So grab a notebook and give yourself a bossy timeout. Welcome back to Business Blab with me, Megan. Hello, boss ladies. I wanted to take some time this week to address all the buzz around this word that we keep seeing pop up everywhere these days, and that is the word balance. Now, I'm going to let you know up front, you might already know this about me, but I use this word a lot, like a lot, without even really second guessing it. I use it in my content. It is a big piece of what I teach my programs. And even the book that Mickey and I are working on writing has a major focus around creating balance around work and parenthood. This word seems to be bringing up a lot of uncomfortable feelings in people, and it's quickly becoming a no-no. But I want us to take some time and back it up a little bit so that we can start to look at what this word really means. I feel so comfortable using this word so often because of the outlook that I have and how I define what the word balance means. And I'm starting to have a feeling that how I see balance might be a little bit different than the general opinion of what people think when they see the word balance. At the end of the day, we all really do want and need balance in our lives, but balance might not be what we're thinking that it is. So as we continue to see this word all over the place, I don't want people to have this cringy feeling when they see it. We really do have the power to take control of the word and then to create the kind of balance that really works for us and works for our lives. So let's get clear here on how we can strive towards finding our unique balance and truly relax into our lives and business and feel a little bit better when we see this word floating around everywhere. First things first, ditch the shoulds. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do or that doesn't serve your life and business. You really don't. And with that being said, this idea that we feel crammed down our throats that things should be 50-50 has really just got to go. If you're working your life around the goal of focusing 50% on work and 50% on life, you are setting yourself up to fail. It's harsh, I know, but I promise you, 50-50 is not a sustainable way to live your life or a sustainable goal to chase. Our lives can't be 50% work and 50% life. It is nearly impossible. And if you feel like you have that 50-50 right now, that's amazing and I'm so happy for you. But I want you to be really clear that that may shift and change. And that's totally okay and really a lot more realistic than trying to maintain this 50-50. So ditching the should, that life should be 50-50, and really opening our eyes up to what we want our own balance to look like and what we want to do and what we need in our lives is going to be the first step to shifting our mindset. Next, I want you to take a look at your life now. So as you start to create your unique balance, it's going to be really important that you get clear on what you actually want and what you actually need to be doing. What is your lifestyle like right now? What is your work schedule like? What about your childcare and your downtime? Where do you fit in the things that you actually enjoy doing? These are all things that we need to consider as we're creating our own unique balance, because my life looks a lot different than your life. Your life looks a lot different than the person that you're watching their balance and wishing that you had the same thing. As you actually pay attention to this, you might find yourself feeling a little bit all over the map and even more overwhelmed than you were to begin with, but that's okay, because it's really important that we get clear on what we have going on so that we can actually make a plan to be able to intentionally tend to all of the things that we need and want to do, and that we can feel good while we do that. The next step is going to be to set priorities and boundaries. So as you start to discover all of the things that you actually want or need to balance, you will need to get really focused and clear on where the priorities lie within those things and where the boundaries are set. Choosing things that are non-negotiable for you. Like for me, undistracted time with my daughter, my Monday morning run, or time to create in my business rather than just sit there and do all the admin work all the time. Those are non-negotiables that I set for myself. And I work the rest of my day around these things to help me feel like I'm finding that balance that we're all searching for in my life. Once you know what your priorities are, you then want to make sure that you draw some lines for what you do and don't want to do. So start creating some concrete boundaries for things like when you're going to walk away from work, when you are going to take a break or give yourself some me time, or when you're going to schedule out time to do some things that maybe you're putting off, like batching content or really taking time to address big things that have been hanging over your head. Whatever you're doing, you just have to make sure that these priorities and boundaries are things that you feel really comfortable with. Not what I feel comfortable with, not what someone else feels comfortable with. These are really personal to you. Next, as always, with anything in this crazy life, be flexible. As you're creating this balance, it's important to remember that things are going to change. Your balance is going to change and shift. Today, it might look different than it does tomorrow or next week or next month or the next season in your life. And that's okay. Really accepting where you are right now and knowing that things will shift and evolve. Balance is fluid. And as long as you're up to the task of going with the flow and being honest with yourself and having a really flexible outlook, you're going to find that magical balance that we're all trying to achieve in our life. So make sure that you're being patient with yourself as you navigate through this. And remember that things may not always go according to plan. In fact, I feel like they rarely do go according to plan. And sometimes your balance is going to feel really, really work heavy. And sometimes it might feel not work heavy enough, but it's all going to swing back the other way and balance itself out. Just be patient and be flexible. So there you have it. I challenge you to take some of these tips and start taking control of what balance means to you in your life. We all want balance, but it's up to us to decide what that actually means to us as an individual. It doesn't have to be a bad word, because when you find your unique balance, your life can really be beautiful. You can relax and ease into things, and you can feel great while you're taking care of business, while you're taking care of your family, and while you're taking care of yourself. So I want to hear from you. Do you feel like you currently have balance in your life? And what does the word balance mean to you? Do you think of it as I do, or do you cringe when you see it and think of it as a big no-no? Send me an email at Megan@BossLadiesAndBabies, or hit me up on Instagram and comment on one of my posts and let me know what balance means to you in your life, because I'd love to hear from you. That's all I have for this week. And until next time, stay bossy.
Thank you for listening to Boss Ladies and Babies. If you like this episode, be sure to rate, review, and leave us some feedback.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and join the conversation in our Facebook group at Boss Ladies and Babies.
And until next time,
Stay
bossy.